Hey boys and girls, it's Mrs. Nelson again. Today we are going to do another project for The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle, and we are going to use some things that we have around the house to help us to understand the life cycle of a butterfly. So I have a paper plate. I cut some leaf shapes out of construction paper. If you don't have construction paper, you can draw leaves. I also have a mini marshmallow. I have 3 different types of pasta. One looks like a bow tie, one is just long and skinny, and one looks like a shell. I also have my school glue from our kits, and I have some markers, and you can choose whatever color markers that you want. So the first thing that we're going to do is I want to go back and show you in the book where we're going to start. I take it back. First we're going to get our materials ready. So I want to take my paper plate and I'm going to divide it into 4 parts. So here is my whole plate, and what I want to do is I want to fold my plate in half, just like when we did our symmetry butterflies. So it's going to be the same on both sides. And I'm going to squeeze the side where the seam is, and then I'm going to open it up, and right where the seam is, I'm going to use one of my markers to draw a line. So what we were doing is we were taking our whole plate and we were cutting it in half. So we have 1/2 and 1/2, that makes 1 whole. So how many halves do we need to make a whole? That's right, 1, 2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my plate, I see how I turned it, and I'm going to fold it the other way. So I'm going to squeeze it again on the side where the seam is, and I'm going to open it back up, and I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to draw a line right in the down with the seam. So now I have 4 equal pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each one of these is called 1/4. Try to say that. 1/4. So first we had a half. This whole side is a half, and this whole side is a half. Now we have 4 fourths. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. So now that your plate is all set up, what we're going to do is we are going to glue on our leaves. We need 4 leaves, and we are going to glue a leaf into each 4th of our plate. So let me show you this first one. So I glued a leaf in this 4th, and now I'm going to glue a leaf in the second 4th, and they can go in whatever direction that you want, doesn't matter. Now I'm going to do the other 2 because each 4th needs to have a leaf. There's my 3rd one, and my 4th one. All right, here it is. So there's a leaf in each 4th of the plate. Now, if we think back to our book, the first thing that we read is that there was a little egg laying on a leaf. So in the book, the egg is white. So now I'm going to use my little marshmallow. You could also use a hole punch and punch out a little piece of paper, or you could just draw a little dot for your egg. Whatever you have at home will work. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on my marshmallow. And remember, we don't want a lot, just enough to make it stick. And then I'm going to glue my marshmallow onto the top left leaf. Okay, so that's where a caterpillar starts. It's in an egg. And then over time, the egg hatches. And what comes out of the egg? I think our book said it was a very tiny and very hungry caterpillar. Now I'm going to use this noodle as my caterpillar. If you don't have noodles at home, you could use a stick, or you could use a pipe cleaner, or you could use anything that is long and skinny, or you could even draw your caterpillar. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to put some glue on my noodle, remembering not that we don't want so much that it's going to be making a mess. We just want enough to make sure that the noodle sticks. So here we go. So there's my egg, and then when my egg hatched, here's my caterpillar. Now, if you want to, you could probably put little eyes on there. That's okay, it's up to you. So now, so first we had the egg, and then the egg hatched and we have a caterpillar. And as we look through the book, the caterpillar starts to change. He eats a lot of food and he gets really super fat. And after he does that, he has to wrap himself up into a cocoon. And the book uses the word cocoon, but the real scientific big adult word for it is chrysalis. Say that. Chrysalis. Chrysalis. I'm going to use my little shell that looks like a seashell, and that's going to be my chrysalis. Now, if you don't have one of these, you could use a fatter shell, or you could use like a cotton ball, because that would be pretty big and fat. You could use a lot of different things. So be creative, boys and girls. It doesn't have to be exactly the way Mrs. Nelson is doing it. So now I'm going to put some glue. I'm trying to get it on the edges of the shell. And this shell's not going to stick very nicely because it's rounded. But we're going to do the best we can. So here's my plate. So first there was a little egg laying on a leaf. And then one day the caterpillar hatched, and he was tiny and he was very hungry. So he ate a whole bunch of food. You remember, he ate cake and salami and ice cream and pickles and all kinds of things. And he got really fat. Then, after he ate all of that, he needed to make a chrysalis. So here's my chrysalis. And inside that chrysalis is that caterpillar. And he needed to stay in there for more than 3 weeks, because what he's doing in there is he's growing and he's changing. And as he changes, he's going to become something bigger and beautiful. And what was that thing, boys and girls? That's right. It was a butterfly. I'm going to use my bow tie noodle to be my butterfly. But before I do that, I'm going to use my marker. And these markers are Sharpies, so I know that they'll work. And I'm just going to color a little bit on my butterfly to make it pretty. So he's going to have a blue wing. Now remember, with butterflies, whatever we do on one side has to be the same on the other side, because butterflies are an example in nature of symmetry. So I'm going to put blue on the other side so that they are symmetrical. Can you say symmetrical, boys and girls? There they are, symmetrical. And I also have another color marker. I have a red one too. Now I'm going to make a circle and a circle. These noodles are difficult to write on. A circle and a circle. So there. So I have 2 circles on the top and 2 on the bottom. And remember, whatever you put on this side needs to be the same on this side so that they're symmetrical. All right. Now I'm going to take my noodle. I'm going to put some glue on the side that I did not color on. So here's my glue on the back. And I'm going to stick that on the very last leaf. Okay. So now you can see my plate. So again, remember, we started with an egg on a leaf, and then the egg hatched and out came a little caterpillar. And after the caterpillar had grown and gotten bigger and he ate a lot of food, he needed to wrap himself up in a chrysalis. In a chrysalis, it would be like you wrapping yourself up in a giant blanket. So here's the chrysalis, and then after he was in the chrysalis for more than 3 weeks, when he came out of the chrysalis, he was a beautiful butterfly. Okay, the last thing that we're going to do, boys and girls, is we're going to label each one of those. So I have some, I typed mine out, and if you're in my classroom, you have these too. But you can just write them, boys and girls, and your moms and dads can help you. So the first word I have is egg. 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 Because the first thing that we saw was an egg. So I'm going to put a little glue on the back of my paper, or you can just write yours on your plate. And I'm going to put it on to label what it is. So here's my egg. There it says egg. After that, what did he become? That's right, caterpillar. So here's my word, caterpillar. And I'm going to put some glue on the back of that. And I'm going to stick it on the plate next to where it says caterpillar. Remember, caterpillar, 4 syllables, caterpillar. Now we're going to come down here, and if you're in my class, I gave you the word cocoon because that was the word that they use in the book. However, I want your parents to help you, and you're going to write the word chrysalis, because that is really what this thing is called that the caterpillar goes into. So I'm going to put chrysalis on my plate next to the chrysalis. And then finally, we have the word butterfly. Now, boys and girls, you know that that butterfly is a compound word. That means they took 2 words and they put it together to make one big word. So they took the word butter and they took the word fly and they put those 2 together to make butterfly. Boys and girls, tell your parents, what is the word butterfly without fly? Yep. It's the word butter. So now I'm going to put the word butterfly on my plate. And here we go. Now I have the life cycle of a butterfly. It starts as an egg. It hatches and is a caterpillar. After it grows and gets bigger, it goes inside of a chrysalis and it stays there for more than 3 weeks. And then finally, when it comes out of the chrysalis, it becomes a butterfly. So that's all I have for you, boys and girls. I hope that you'll do this project at home with your parents. Make sure that you reread the book. And I love you and I miss you guys, and I hope you have a great day.